Oxolith, the name of the company that our alien CEO runs. Do you remember their catchphrase? It's on a sign as she walks through the beginning.
It's not said?
No.
Okay.
No. Healing tomorrow, today.
Okay.
Now, we can jump around here. Wait. We get to the real motives, or at least the proclaimed motives of there's first the CEO is human. That motive. Yeah. Which we learn is all a lie, or at least I think that's clear. Maybe that's debatable. And then we learn what the motives are as alien. And then we have Teddy's motives, which stay consistent the whole time. Just so the healing tomorrow, today, she says. Yeah. Well, we'll get to all the different motives. Did you have something to say on that?
No, a note that I would have taken that clicked for me, because I should have taken notes, but I did not.
That's good.
But I think it was really interesting exploring Teddy's traumatic background, because if you weren't paying attention, you might not have clocked it super clearly, but his mother was an opioid addict, which obviously that alone would create an insane amount of trauma for a child, probably a lot of abuse and neglect.
Did you infer opioids?
Well, they said it was an experimental treatment to treat opioid withdrawals. That she got put on.
I actually missed that detail.
And remember, she's in the bathtub, and he's pulling all the needles out of her arms, and she's flying up into the sky. Yeah. Opioids. Okay. So I think it's really interesting. I think it's really interesting that Teddy's traumatic backstory is his mother was an opioid addict, and that created a lot of abuse and trauma, whatever. You can just infer that. And then
the babysitter trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that what you were going to say?
Well, that's another element. He probably wouldn't have had that guy as a babysitter if his mom wasn't so neglectful. And, I think this film says a lot about rural America, too, and the kind of trauma that they face. And then the fact that I just like that it creates such a nuanced portrait of the big monolithic corporation, because they were genuinely so I don't know if you caught this, but his mom was an opioid. I might be wrong about this too, but from what I gathered, his mom was an opioid addict. Oxolith had an experimental treatment to help opioid addicts get off of opioids. Okay. And it accidentally put his mom into a coma, but but it was known that was a possibility because it was an experimental treatment. Right. So even though Oxolith they didn't, in my eyes, really do anything wrong. They had an experimental treatment for an opioid addict who was trying to get off of opioids, and it went wrong, as experimental treatments do. Anyway, yeah.
Hence the nuance of this story.
Yeah.
I actually love that you just said that, because I swear that was the one part of the movie that I was still a little gray on. And you just nailed it all. Yeah. Like I was kind of equating like they're causing colony collapse disorder, but that somehow affected his mom's health. Like, no, this is just a company that does many things with pesticides, drugs, etc. So those two things, same company, totally different avenues for the company. Thank you for clarifying that. I swear that was the one thing. Like some of the flashback, the black and white flashbacks. There's two gorgeous black and white flashbacks that are they're surrealistic. That she's floating in the air. Just by the way, just as a film technique, like the fact that Yorgos will just like have two of those black and white flashback scenes that are surreal, just like it just adds to the whole movie so well, dude.
I really like those.
Check. Okay, we're good.
Check.
Okay, so we're shopping with Ted and Don. They're going to get their supplies.
Okay.
They got to clear the psychic cachet. There's some phenomenal writing in this film, and so I'm going to try to. I jotted down like the phrases.
Did Yorgos write this himself?
Good question. I should know that. I think he writes all his own films.
He's like a fucking auteur, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's a writer-director. There's a brotherly conversation about uncertainty. They are cousins, to be clear.
It was written by a guy named Will Tracy.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember the movie The Menu?
Yeah, The Menu, there's another one that I saw that he...
I'm sure, but all I have on this...
Menu is really good.
Yeah, that's the one with the one guy who's in the new thing. 28 years later.
Yeah,
he's in that, right? No, a different guy.
Oh, Ralph Fiennes. Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, Ralph Fiennes.
I don't have actor brain.
It is. Those two are confused. They need to clear the psychic cachet.
Oh yeah,
and we get into that a little bit more too. So they're sitting down having this conversation. Ted and Don. This is when we get to the chemical castration scene. So part of clearing the psychic cachet, and Ted is doing this because there cannot be any. They can't allow the alien to persuade them with all the ways humans can be persuaded. Which I love. That's all very realistic scientific stuff that we're talking about here too. Which is a brilliant intelligence in the movie. Medroxyprogesterone acetate is this thing that they stick themselves with for the chemical castration. It causes maximum focus and reduces psychic compulsions. This is kind of a genre of man in particular, like the don't masturbate, don't do this, don't do that. There's like a kind of a subculture.
Live at the gym, grind.
Yeah, it's like keep my
taxi driver.
Unfortunately, I think sometimes they're kind of associated with like Andrew Tate and shit. Yeah. So they're like kind of.
I feel like they're the kind of people who watched Taxi Driver and didn't get it.
No, yeah,
or they watched Fight Club and didn't.
The incel community, yeah.
Came away with the wrong ideas,
So that's one of many kind of personality types that's drawn into this character of Ted. Don, of course, is part of why he's autistic is that he's able to be Ted's Frankenstein or kind of puppet, so to speak. God, dude, the more I think about the character, I'm like, dude, just heartstrings fucking tugged with that guy. He's like so just open, like the innocence. It's like the innocence of children is what makes me cry. Like no, anytime, whether it's with like through joy or pain, right? Either one, obviously. It's like so to see it, like the thing is with adults, we still all have that to a degree. Yeah. Nobody still has the answers. Nobody still knows what's going on. We're still all kind of innocent, and like hurting, and like, oh, bro. That shit just makes me fucking cry in a good way. Sad, but good.
Can I say something on the chemical castration note? So remember how earlier we were talking about shaving the head, and I brought up how monks shave their heads. But what's interesting to me is monks, as a spiritual practice, also take on celibacy.
Right.
And they also take on a lot of these disciplines that both the Teddy character and the Michelle character both live in these... They do these monastic kind of practices. And monasticism, mono is the prefix there. It's a singular focus on one thing, and for real, like Zen monks, for example, that thing is Zen, or whatever. But for Teddy, it's, kidnapping Michelle and the aliens and stuff. And for Michelle, it's CEO type shit. Anyway, that's my connection there. I'm seeing a lot of connections between like monasticism practices, shaving the head. Chemical castration is monks don't do that, but they practice celibacy so that they can stay focused. Yeah.
Well, and again, this is originally a Korean story. I don't know about Buddhism in Korea. We know it's kind of it's associated with the Eastern world.
Yeah, I think Korean, honestly, I think is mostly Christian. Yeah.
Well, when we have like look, there's populations of all religions everywhere to some degree, but no, I liked it. I mean, I think religion, although kind of surprisingly not really referenced much in this film. We don't get a lot of Christian references. There isn't really a biblical reference in the whole thing. Worth noting, because end of the day, we're kind of in the same ballpark. And like, what are the answers? I mentioned a second ago. Like, what are the answers? I think I found out what the truth is. So. And a lot of people, again, lean on religion for that. But Buddhism is kind of, I want to say there's even like some study done on like the legitimacy of religions. I forget what I saw, but it's like Buddhism's like the most like practical religion that exists on Earth.
Well, that's because, it depends on the Buddhist. There's all kinds of Buddhists. Yeah. I'm a Buddhist, and the kind of Buddhism, Zen Buddhism that I practice it does not require any supernatural beliefs. You don't have to believe in a deity. You don't have to believe that something's going to happen when you die. And it does not make any claims about the supernatural.
Right.
So somebody who is perfectly logical and rational can be a Buddhist. And, that's why I like it, because it doesn't require me to subscribe to believing in something fantastical or mystical, Right. It's just like Buddhism is just like, be here now.
Love it.
That's it.
Another phenomenal quote from the film when he's talking about blanking out these psychic compulsions. Mm-hmm. He calls it "fuck filler jamming up our neurons."
Oh yeah.
By the fireside. Yeah. Great line.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's great. I mean, that's
it's so true.
That's exactly what these things are primarily used for. Even though they don't have to be that, but
Well, when you combine porn with the smartphone, then you get the true combination of both those things. Yeah.
Social media and porn, they're fuck filler jamming.
It's quite a great line.
Yeah, it's on the nose.
He goes on talking about the synapses firing off on procreation, seed spread, monogamy, all pain traps, he calls them, which is another great phrase. And then he talks about, when you can get rid of all these things, you'll be your own master and totally free. Again, this sounds Buddhist adjacent. Is this kind of the concept there too? This is like what I associate with meditation, transcendental meditation.
This would be explicitly not. So his line of thinking would be asceticism, which is something that a lot of monks in India practiced before Buddhism, which taught that you have to renounce everything in order to become enlightened, etc. Buddha came along and he was like, no, like that is not the way to do it. You've probably heard of the middle way. Have you heard of this? Mm-mm. Oh, okay. So in Buddhism, there's this thing of the middle way. And so on one end of the spectrum is asceticism, like Teddy is talking about, where you give up everything and blah, blah, blah. Buddhism says, no, that's not the way. But the other end of the spectrum is, hedonism, where you just gratify every impulsive desire. The middle way is, being with your desires, but not getting overly attached to them. So it's not like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not like you have to renounce everything. You just have to learn how to use everything in moderation.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the yin and yang balance of it all.
But Teddy's character and Michelle's character, they've taken it to the extreme.
It's cool though. It's like it's an anti-hedonism.
And I want to say this. This is a quote. I'm sure somebody else has said this, but I said this to myself when I had this realization.
Yeah.
Self-mastery is not self-love. What we need is self-love. Self-mastery is not a path to self-love.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll let that sit there. Teddy asked Donnie, like, what his concept of being free is.
Yeah.
I think. And he describes it. I think when I watch this movie a fourth time, I'm just going to, like, weep every time Donnie speaks. Mm-hmm. When we were little, before things got bad, makes me think of The Catcher in the Rye. Did you ever read The Catcher in the Rye? Okay.
That's the one that made the guy shoot Kennedy or whatever.
It is. Or Lennon. I think. John Lennon.
Somebody got
shot. Reagan.
Somebody got assassinated. Wait, Reagan didn't get assassinated.
No, but he got shot by that guy.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh.
He survived it. Anyways, Catcher in the Rye is about, like, while running towards this cliff. And it's like when you lose the innocence of and I love joy of freedom of being a child.
On that note, I love Donnie's character because, like, Teddy is caught up in this bullshit world of self-mastery and we need to blah, blah, blah in order to blah, blah, blah. And what Teddy is running away from is what Donnie is just hitting on the nose. Teddy's like, we got to do all this stuff. And Donnie's like, I just want to be like we were when we were kids again. That's what everybody wants. That's what Teddy's really after. He just can't admit it to himself,
Great point.
Which, I think I might have teared up a little bit around that same line.
Well, and then Teddy says, we're going to get it back again.
Yeah.
Talking about this freedom. I promise. So he says we there. Yeah. So you're exactly right. Yeah. The title finally comes in at 12:43. This is where we are in our notes.
Okay.
We'll be fine. Alien CEO's doing a promo video on diversity. That was a pretty funny scene. All very human, like things that humans see, That's the thing, like, first time watching this, although it entertained, I kind of knew that it was going to end the way it did. I knew she was going to be an alien in real life, probably just because I know Yorgos well.
Yeah.
But it was still like no one should like the way they set it up. Like it was all completely. This is a real human. This is a real psychopath, and it just did such a good job of making that the case for the viewer. Like they didn't really want to give any like inklings of she might be an alien. Honestly,
it did have me on the edge of my seat. Yeah. You know, it did. Even though deep down, I would have been pretty surprised if it didn't turn out that she was an alien.
Right.
I was sitting there going like, okay, is she gonna be an alien? When is this gonna happen? What's it gonna look like? You know?
I feel like most American films or stories like they would have stayed realistic about it, and instead the movie would have been just like a delve into the mind of a psychopath. Yeah. Well, you know, and that's boring. Yeah. Thanks. I love that we're on the same page.
But I love the CEO alien metaphor. It's the same thing for like the reptilian idea, which is, you know, comes from the same thing. And I think it is interesting because I think CEOs, it's not like they're different or they have different blood or whatever, but they come from a line of a very specific kind of family trauma that probably in many cases is traced back many, many, many generations. And this trauma goes on and on and on. And they can feel like these separate alien entities. But yeah, like I think I said this earlier, it's like they just happen to experience a specific kind of trauma that turned them into that. You know, they're just human at the end of the day. Like, here's something I'll say too, right? Take the ending out of it. Like, at the end of the day, even though she's an alien, whatever, this is a human character. Michelle is a human character. This is a human.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Well, she's an alien character.
Well, she's
pretending to be human.
No, right. But like, as a character, I'm saying she's an alien in the story. Yeah. But her character is that of a human.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Character within the character, kind of, maybe.
Well, I mean, like.
I think I know what you're saying.
Everything that she embodies is a very human thing. You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
She, we see the pictures of her on the covers of magazines, so she's quite famous and successful. The whole 5:30 p.m. conversation was really funny.
That was funny.
Yeah, just it's
make sure everyone know they can leave. Unless they have more work to do, then they should definitely stay.
It's the the problem of humanity in the corporate world. It's like it's counterproductive to efficiency and productivity to actually have to give people rights. You know, 40-hour work weeks and getting off at 5:30. That was just a funny scene. And of course, she wants people to let their conscience guide them on that one. You know, that we still have quotas to meet, so you know you can stay past 5:30 if you want to. It's that. So that made me think of the false sense of autonomy that corporations, you know, kind of give their employees as kind of like it's all kind of like psychological fucking manipulation on some level, or at least that's what CEOs kind of want end of the day. Like, and so it's giving the illusion of autonomy in that corporate world, which is a little more of a modern thing too. It's like, oh no, we're cool. Like, you know, we got a beer tap at work or this or that or whatever. Like you can work from home. It's just funny how end of the day it's like a CEO's job is still to technically to be as impersonal and inhumane as possible in the sense of like all that matters is the profits of the business.
Yeah. Well, that's what it's become, and that is the fatal flaw of our current system. Right. But that's not what it's always has been, and that's not what it needed to be. You know, the golden age of capitalism. First of all, fuck Henry Ford. He was a piece of shit. He was an anti-Semite.
I like it.
But his model, his way of doing things was genuinely very innovative. And back in the day, CEOs actually worked to provide value, and businesses actually existed to provide value. And, you know, Henry Ford's salary was not substantially higher than his workers. Right. But then, actually, I just watched a video about this. Like, in the 70s or 80s, the guy who they credit with breaking capitalism is the guy who took over General Electric. And he's the guy who kind of invented this model of the CEO being somebody who their whole job is to up the stock price at all cost. That's where it broke. That's why it's broken.
Gotcha.
CEOs come in, they'll do anything to up the stock price, and that just looks like gobbling up companies, hollowing out all the value that the company provides, and then collapsing. And the CEOs are praised, and it's kind of insane.
And they make 80 times what the employees make.
I'd like to believe that we can come back to or move forward to something new. This is obviously broken, you know.
Well, and then so it's like this AI fork in the road. It's like, we love AI now because they're not human beings. They can work 24/7. There's no feeling. There's no emotion. There's no pain. There's no suffering. And it's a computer. Perfect. It's a CEO's dream, you know?
Yeah.
And I think the optimistic way of looking at this is like, AI has to usher in a world of entrepreneurs that are just kind of working for themselves, that are making their own money, doing their own thing. And like, that's the only way it becomes a good thing in the context of a business culture. Because otherwise it's like, you know, huge companies are now using it just to lay off everybody. So it's just like, I don't know, we're going like, everybody is going to be laid off. It's happening now, quite literally. This year, tons of stats on horrible job numbers and layoffs. To where the president just like fired the person reporting the numbers. It's insane. And then just lies about like how things are going. So yeah, my optimism is like, it's just, there's just 1,000 times more people like us in a sense who are just like, I got to go do my own thing. Yeah. And hopefully survive or maybe be successful.
Here's my optimism about it is like, very few things can unite enough people. But everybody on both sides right now feels the same. The right and the left see what the corporations are doing with AI and how they want to lay everybody off. Nobody wants it. And when
it's not
enough...
right, left. It's up, down. That's the big lesson of our era.
But what's happening, greedy people get greedier and greedier, and they get more and more out of touch. And now they're reaching a point where, you know, it's very rare that everybody can agree on something, and everybody agrees on this, you know? And so there's only much we'll put up with before we fucking make a change. I mean, look at the fucking United Healthcare CEO being shot. I don't think it was good that he got killed.
But the fact that public consensus is like, yeah.
Right and left. New. The whole political spectrum was on that. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, dude, I'm looking forward to seeing the oligarchs fall.
Well, and hopefully that's what Trump quite literally is the representation of. Yeah. And unfortunately, for some reason, I think like conservatives are just more apt to be coerced by like the businessman, and we need to trust the rich businessman. They know what's right. They know how to be successful. Blah blah. I think he's represents the last gasp of the American oligarchy. I think.
So, I don't know. We'll see though. Yeah.
We're getting into polysat. This is great. We're at the kidnapping scene.
Okay.
The funny chase scene. She like kind of beats their asses. Yeah. You know, we see a little workout and like martial arts montage earlier with the CEO. Just a great scene. There's some kind of long. Do you call them a long shot? Anything from a distance? There's like close up, medium, long.
Don't ask me. I'm just a film major.
Any like distant. There's some great kind of distant montage scenes. The other one is, so there's this one that when they chase her down, he finally gets the syringe in her leg, and then Don like runs up after it's all done. This just made me laugh. He's just so like inept, and it just did nothing. Yeah. Little nitpick there, like no security really whatsoever. Like cameras, like
like that whole thing was a little.
They had to do that. That might be like the one nitpick of the movie. Like they had to make it to where like she could be kidnapped in the first place. Where like in real life, I feel like they would have caught those guys like that.
It would have been a lot more challenging to pull off.
What was I gonna say? I think that's it. Oh yeah, there was just another great when she. Well, I won't spoil it. There's one at the end that's really good too, from a distance, kind of a montagey, moving scene. They shave her head in the car. They describe. So Teddy finally gets into the actual descriptions of what an alien is that he's discovered. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not being like self-centered here. All those physical traits I have: the narrow feet, thin cuticles, slight overbite, semi-obtruding earlobes, and high hair density. I was like,
isn't that just like a lot of humans?
Oh yeah, I'm not saying I'm special. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like
I like to think I'm an alien,
and I think I have dense. What I thought was funny.
Do you have like dude? You applied to like small pinky nails and shit.
Are these thin?
I think cuticles? So.
Yeah.
Do you have thin feet?
My feet are wide.
Oh, then you don't apply.
Yeah.
You're not an alien, dog.
I used to tell people I was reptilian because a friend and I took DMT together. And she started freaking out because she saw me as a reptile.
Why are reptiles so intricately connected to DMT? What the fuck?
I actually hadn't heard that before.
Oh my! Every story I've heard.
Yeah.
It's like, and they go see like the same reptilian like figures and shit.
Really? But yeah, she said that, and I was like, oh, must be reptilian. And I was like, yes. Reptilian master race. I'm just kidding.
No,
I'm not actually a reptilian.
But this is what's so cool about this. Like, we can kind of open up about maybe some feel like whether they're serious or part serious, or whatever. It's like, yeah, it does feel good to think like maybe you are an alien here on this earth. Like, there's these. I guess it's like the
power,
the
fantasy.
Attractiveness of like being different or being unique, or maybe being more powerful.
Yeah, I think it's the power fantasy. You know, that's why like.
Okay.
Why I thought it would be funny, or you know, why I would be proud to be a reptilian, because the idea is that reptilians control the world, you know, or why you might be proud to match the alien attributes is because they're the ones who control.
Yeah,
you know,
it's healthy to admit those thoughts, I guess. Go from there. The steak metaphor was funny. Like, how do you know? It's like, once you're a chef and you've been cooking steak for years. Yeah. You can just see if it's medium rare by looking at it.
It was totally unexpected when she busts open the thing, and he's been doing this to a lot of people. Like, that was unexpected.
We're spoiling, though.
Wait, I thought...
No, I know. I'm kidding.
Oh, okay.
So unexpected. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Up until then... Oh, yeah, I'm jumping all around.
It's okay.
Yeah. Hey, then by the time we get there, we'll be like, oh, we already covered that.
There's the cream applied, which, like, kind of blocks... the antihistamine blocks or weakens neurotransmitters. Just the nervous system, neurotransmitters. Like, there's so much real science where you sit back and like, holy shit, that's real. Neurotransmitters being a real thing that we have is just fascinating.
Neurotransmitters, yeah. Dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine.
I don't know about those.
You haven't taken much psychiatric medication, have you?
Never.
Oh. Yeah, you learn those when you take psych meds.
Gotcha. We come to the wake up finally. Alien CEO wakes up. Their initial encounter. Well, one note I wrote down second time watching it, because I was trying to look for some tells. No matter, because if there are any, they're super subtle. That she's an alien. Because, again, I'm big on there being, like, none, really, until the very moment at the end. Or the hospital when she runs out of the ambulance.
The fact that she didn't use the bathroom or eat, that was one thing where I was like, that is a little strange.
And that can be a movie thing, though. They just don't include that.
It could be believable. But they pointed it out. They were like, she hasn't, I don't know if you caught that, but they were like, she hasn't eaten or used the bathroom. She had just sat there on the bed.
So that first spaghetti dinner was like the first meal she had.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that. Okay.
But that also could rationally be just like a response to being fucking kidnapped.
Right. Well, I guess when I watched it second, third time, the subtle tell I had was like, she's not scared enough. Like these directors and actors are so good. Like there's no mistakes here in how the performance. So, you know, and if she was a human, there just would have been a different reaction waking up. Like, she was way too level-headed.
I don't know. I think that's how I genuinely think a powerful CEO would likely respond.
Good point.
Because
good point. Just instant evaluation. Don't let fear get in the way.
Yeah, it's not like
solution.
It's not like they're not human. But they are oftentimes people who have, self-mastered to some extent, and they know that it's a game of power and manipulation. And yeah.
Great point. He brings up the mothership, right? Kind of divulges what he knows. Her reaction to that is obviously we're sympathizing with her. Like, oh shit, I can imagine what that's like, dealing with a fucking lunatic. But upon second watch, you're like, oh, this is the first time she knows that he knows the truth when he brings up the mothership and like starts to tell, and she doesn't give a tell that, there's no like, oh my God, he knows look on her face. But it's just cool, her hearing that in the context of the story. Like, has anyone figured it out?
Yeah.
Has any alien had to deal with this before?
Yeah.
Is he the first one to ever figure it out? So like there's
Yeah.
a lot going on in her alien head when he starts to divulge what ends up being the actual truth. And of course she has to carry on the lie for a while that she's not an alien.
Yeah, that's kind of where, truth be told, that's kind of where the movie stops making sense to me. Like, and obviously that's kind of the artful thing that Yorgos is known for is, you know, artfully things not making sense. But like, yeah, it doesn't make sense that she's an alien. It doesn't make sense. Like, there's no logical, rational reason why, you know, in the real world
that a viewer would be like, she might be an alien.
Right. Like, yeah, like it's not a sensical thing. I don't think that there were any hints dropped that she actually was an alien because, yeah, I think the commentary that this is making, it's almost, to me, almost seems kind of undermined by the fact that it's revealed that she's an alien, because then we're like, oh, is that supposed to mean something? But I feel like a lot of the meaning surrounded more around the interaction between the, you know, the crazy conspiracy theorist and the CEO, and then the alien ending was just like, oh, that's what made it interesting.
You're right, but we've come full circle to where like that's the unique way to make this movie now. Like we just mentioned a minute ago, like the typical story is, what's the human breakdown of dealing with a psychopath? What goes through the victim's head? That's what we're used to. It's a great point. And it does become a fantastical movie and in the end, but like
I guess like
to take that turn in the end of 2025 is now the right turn to take, if that makes sense.
Well, I feel like there's a lot of clear meaning in the film, but the alien ending, like, to me, I don't have a interpretation of what that's supposed to mean. You know, everything to me has a lot of meaning until it's like, oh, she actually is an alien and they popped the bubble on the world. Like, I guess I could conceptualize some ideas about commentary that might be trying to make, but it doesn't make sense to me, you know?
Well, it's unrealistic. It goes from being hyper realistic to unrealistic.
Right, yeah.
But I think maybe I have an answer to your question, or what I think, like the meaning of that is that end of the day, all this shit, the craziest theory, you know, we haven't mentioned flat Earth yet, and firmament, but that's like,
that's
it marries the flat Earth firmament theory, which is a huge culture that I kind of learned about the past couple years through TikTok and stuff. Like, I know it's like technically like what's in the Bible, so like it's kind of a biblical, like the Christian crowd, a lot of them believe that flat Earth with a firmament, right? And
a firmament, is that the dome?
That's the dome.
Yeah.
And then like it's all as above, so below. It's like really an ocean outside of the firmament. Like, and the thing is, technically, there's no way for us to know. Now, a basic scientist might say, yes, of course, there are a million ways for us to know, you know, that the Earth is round, that
there's not any way for you and I to factually confirm it. But
right. So like that alone, I think is the angle the movie's going. And that, look, all this shit that sounds crazy, these crazy conspiracy theorists, like, set aside that some conspiracy theories end up to be true. Like, set aside that, yes, we know that the Earth is round. We know about the cosmos to the extent that we know. Yeah. But end of the day, we're just being told something through math, through education, through a variety of
institutions.
Institutions.
Which brings us back to, you know, trust is being eroded in our institutions. And that is not a good thing, in my opinion. That's scary. Because it's like, it stops being who went to school and studied and researched, and like, oh, it's just like who is the most charismatic and can make engaging reels, and that's who people are turning to. That's scary. I guess what I'm trying to say is that, like, because existence itself is still a mystery to us, because there still are unanswered questions as to why we're here, what we're doing here, all that. Like, technically, it's the reasons for it all are still technically all open-ended. Now, we can develop likelihoods of things down to 99.99999%, right? And everything in between. But, like, you know, that's why religion still is so prominent, Abrahamic religions or whatever, is because, you know, we still don't know technically, you know? Anyways. So I think the movie's kind of speaking that to appeal to the conspiracy mindset as well. Like, there's a reason why people go down these rabbit holes. Yeah. I mean, you mentioned trust in institutions, which is entirely right. But I think the other big element to that is that existence itself is still a mystery. Yeah. No matter how much we learn scientifically. Yeah, but I still, obviously, I think the danger is just that people take we don't know technically, and then run with that. And then they start believing all these crazy conspiracies when it's like, no, we don't know for a fact. Right. We have a really, 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 really good reason to believe our scientists. Right. A really, really good reason.
I'm with you.
Just to be clear, I'm with you. Really good reason to believe that most conspiracy theories are not true. Like, just logically walk through it. Like, 9/11 was an inside job, blah, blah, blah. You might think that. It's common for people to think that. But if you just think about how many people would have had to keep their mouth shut, it's not, we would know by now if it was an inside job.
Moon landing is another good example of that, too.
Yeah. Like, how many fucking people on Stanley Kubrick's soundstage would have to have never talked in 50 years, And is it not believable enough that, sure, in a backhanded way, like we funded terrorist groups in Afghanistan to help overthrow the communist dictatorship, and then they turned into Al-Qaeda, and then they had big resentments against the U.S. because of Israel-Palestine. What? We've actually been really horrible the entire time, and Israel has always been oppressing Palestine?
Right.
That's why they flew a fucking bomb into the Twin Towers. Right. Because of it, the U.S. supporting Israel's place. Anyway, this might be... I know, we don't need to cut this out.
It's all relative to this movie.
Yeah.
This is exactly what the movie's about.
It pisses me off that people are more apt to believe that 9/11 was an inside job and bombs were planted as a false flag operation than to believe that we were meddling in other countries and we suffered the fucking consequences. You arm and train terrorist groups in Afghanistan, and then you support a genocidal regime. It wasn't genocide at the time yet, but it was heading there.
Apartheid, whatever.
Yeah, apartheid. And it's like, what? Why do they want to fucking blow up our buildings? Gee, I don't know.
But also, it's still possible that the owners of the buildings just had it all set up to get the insurance money. I'm kidding. But.
That's the other flaw. People say, oh, just because something is technically possible. Right. It's technically possible, but it's so logically, scientifically, rationally unlikely that it's not worth considering. Right.
This is the crux of conversations.
Yeah.
In the world now.
Yeah.
It's this it ultimately gets down to like kind of a numbers, statistics, likelihood thing that a lot of people have trouble comprehending, to where everything's just 50-50. Everything's equally plausible.
Yeah, it plays on our bad psychology.
Right.
I think media has something to do with it. Like, it's more fun to believe that we live in a world of conspiracy theory and everything was set up and there's this, but really, like, what was that? There's some like law, I forgot what it's called, but the most likely possibility, most cases, is the truth.
Yeah, that's Schroding? No, that's Schroding. What law is that? Murphy's Law?
Maybe. No, Murphy's Law is like anything bad that can happen.
But I think Murphy's Law is actually what you described. People think it's that, but it's actually what you described.
Oh, it could be one of those things.
I'm
like militantly rational, anti-conspiracy, and optimistic. Like, everybody thinks that the world is in a lot worse of a place than it actually is because we're glued to these little fucking screens all day.
But even before that, people
are designed to make the world seem as scary as possible. You're
100% right, but I will say before the smartphone, the human tendency to romanticize the past has always existed. To think the past was better. Yeah. Things are so much worse right now. Crime's worse right now. Homeless is worse. All these things are so much worse right now. Oh, Chico used to be so much nicer. Like, I fucking go off on those people. Like,
I do too.
Yeah.
Like, look at the fucking numbers. Right. Violent crime has gone down. Look at the numbers in San Francisco, in New York. Violent crime has gone down. Like, you just live in a world where you're fed media that is designed to make you outraged and you eat it up. That's what's scary. Like,
and that's a specific conversation that's had in this film. I think we're going to get to it in a second here.
Absolutely.
They're having this conversation about what's true and what's not, right? Yeah. Teddy and CEO. And just another great line alert. Let's unpack the whole fact bag, he says, which just made me laugh. Because, I just love that he's like a lunatic first time watching it, but he's like a genius second time watching it. he's the one of the only ones that actually knows the truth in the context of the story.
Right. Yeah.
I love that part of it, which again, you got to watch it twice. The lunar eclipse is mentioned for the first time. And we haven't gotten to that graphic that tells us like day 3, day 2, day 1. It shows us the artistic flat Earth and the countdown to lunar eclipse. I think that so the first images are placed to us like a front-facing plate, to where that's how you'd see a sphere two-dimensionally if you're looking at it. So I think that they don't want to tip off the flat Earth thing on the first graphic. Did you have a thought about that, or did you notice that?
Oh yeah, I noticed the little cracks, and then I thought, which kind of eclipse is it that it matters where you are in the world, or is it both? Because there's one, I don't know if it's both, but I know at least one kind of eclipse, like it might be a full eclipse for us in Chico, but like in Kansas it's not. Or
yeah, isn't that how it works? Just in general, and different times or full
which
areas?
To me is like
we're bad at cosmology,
right? Yeah.
My point was like they didn't want to convey that.
Yeah.
This in the story, it is a flat Earth is flat.
Yeah.
So they didn't want to tell us that right away, and then as the graphic goes in day 2, it tips over so you can see that it's a flat Earth. I got such a big kick out of that being the reality of this story.
Or here's another interpretation. That makes more sense to me. Just me, though. Like, what if the whole ending is just Teddy's death hallucination? Because he was so sold on it.
You're right to bring that up.
Yeah.
And that keeps it a hyper-realistic movie.
Yeah.
There were theories about, like, the second Top Gun with that, where it's like he crashes at the beginning and he, like, walks out. And like everything's a fucking dream from that point. Like,
well, yeah, but I don't mean it, that to me seems kind of like a cheesy, fantastical thing.
This one is more applicable. I agree.
This makes because okay, the thing is like, I feel like it does take a lot of the meaning out of it when you look back and it's like, oh, everything he's saying is actually true. But
that's what makes it such a special movie to me, because it's like it's taking it to these different heights. Take it there, Yorgos. I just love, please, any good director, like, take it there. But that's a personal preference, maybe.
No. I'm exactly on the same page. I really like, are you a David Lynch fan?
Sure, not as big as some others. He's not like...
Have you watched a lot of his movies?
Yeah.
Okay.
I might need to kind of, not as much maybe as I think.
For me, like, I think Yorgos Lanthimos and David Lynch are kind of in the same vein as surrealistic storytellers. David Lynch, though, maybe Yorgos
Lynch is like
more your cup of tea. Lynch is more my cup of tea. Because Lynch is like, there's no semblance of this. This isn't supposed to make sense.
Right.
But Yorgos is kind of like, is it supposed to make sense? Is it not supposed to make sense?
Well, this is cool. This fits a taste. We're getting into tastes. What we like is as viewers, as people who love film. And it's awesome. I mean, I hope we don't all have the same opinions, and we don't. And that's great. It's also neat to like identify like what your taste actually is. Like it takes a while to actually know that, and you got to get smart and get learned on stuff, But what were you saying?
Oh, I googled it, and so a lunar eclipse is the same event for everyone on Earth, but the timing and visibility different by location.
Yeah. We are going to be so made fun of by people that know basic
astronomy.
Yes.
It's funny as I took astronomy like a year ago, and I should know this. The only thing that stuck with me from astronomy is the astrological calendar used by most astrologers today. And you think you're a whatever. What are you, a Gemini?
Taurus. Wait, are you talking about cosmology is the study of space?
No, astronomy is the study of, well, I guess stars, but you learn about space.
Astrology is the fake one, right?
It's not that it's fake. Well,
you know what I mean.
It's like the spiritual one with you're a Cancer, but it is a real thing that when you were born, a certain star sign was behind the sun,
right?
And astrologers believe that has an impact,
right?
And we use an astrological calendar that's thousands of years old, but it doesn't account for the fact that the Earth wobbles on its gravitational axis over a period of like 20,000 years. So the star sign that was actually behind the sun when you were born is the one from the month prior to what you think it is. So whatever is before Taurus, I don't know.
Aries,
yeah, that's what you actually are. And on top of that, Sorry, this is such a tangent. But on top of that, there is a 13th star sign that goes behind the sun.
Okay.
And it's not an even cycle of 12. It's an even cycle of 13.
Oh, I know all about the 13-month calendar. 28 days each adds up to 364. Like, it should be a 13-month calendar.
Yeah.
Even, like, the names of our months, like December, Dec 10.
But it's always funny because people who are really invested in astrology, like, they'll fucking fight me on this. But it's, okay.
Oh, we should have a 13-month calendar with 28 days each. That's how it should be. It got all fucked up.
I didn't know this.
That's
I
not
just
even a conspiracy.
That, like my painting teacher, I had this discussion in class, and she turned out to be that. It's a weird one. I don't remember the name, but it's something else. But I'm just happy because it means I'm not a Cancer. I'm a Gemini.
Okay.
And I've always felt more like a Gemini.
I'm glad that
Tupac and Jay-Z and Biggie, and they were all Geminis, but actually they would have been Tauruses.
I don't know.
Based on the gravitational well. Okay. And this all relates to Bugonia.
I want you to let your wings fly.
No. This relates to Bugonia because.
Should we talk about Alicia Silverstone, or did?
Let's go. Which one is she?
So she's the mom. So Alicia Silverstone.
Oh, okay.
Was in Clueless. Did you ever see Clueless? That famous '90s high school movie? No. Okay. This is why we're going to avoid film history. Addicts? Yes.
Okay.
She was like this. Kind of a huge, like, young woman actor in the 90s that, like, one of those actors is just, like, should have been a bigger star and had a way more, like, complex career than she ended up having. So seeing her on screen was like, whoa, Alicia Silverstone. Like, I haven't seen her in forever.
Do you care that I'm, like, Googling stuff?
No, please. Okay. So anyway, she's the mom. We get our first... black and white scene with her that you already described, where we have these long
needles,
syringes. They were all specifically syringes, I believe, with long ass needles.
Probably,
yeah. On the edge of them was all the syringe thing.
Oh, okay.
We get some, monologue from her where she's talking about, she does bring up that whole concept of selling the sickness and the cure. Mm-hmm. Again, another that's like a viable conspiracy theory that exists within our kind of socio-capital world. Mm-hmm. Like, and you mentioned Luigi earlier, which that's in any health industry, like it's part of it. Mm-hmm. That's probably one of the most valid, like, I don't even want to call it a conspiracy theory, like critiques of kind of big capitalism is the health industry, the drug industry.
It's not a conspiracy theory. It's just how a free market would inevitably end up working.
It's actually a very realistic movement that a lot of people are fighting against.
Yeah.
And it has to do with, politics and universal health care and all that stuff. But that's a different conversation. Well, we don't need to talk about that.
Yeah, I think the problem is that our market has become too deregulated. Like, ideally, like, the market wouldn't be completely free, and you would have regulations in place that would prevent that kind of stuff.
That's the political pod.
Yeah, you got to have me back on when you start the political podcast. Although I don't really have much political expertise.
Another great line, quote unquote, uncomfortable line, when she's describing herself in the tub, and she says, "Your slob cunt mom will do it for you, baby." Remember that line?
Yeah, it was a little unnerving.
It's rough, yeah.
Yeah. Wait, what is she doing for him, Ryan?
I think it's like the kind of represents like the pep talk of her passing on, like, this is your mission in life, to like stop these people who have poisoned me, type of thing, right?
Yeah.
But the darkness of her comes out, which connects to, the inevitability of his childhood trauma. Yorgos does a good job at trying to convey a lot in small scenes or with few lines. I think he's good at that, and that whole metaphorical flashback and my flashback is a lot of that.
Let me just say something because it's on my mind now. I remember thinking this too. Like, I like the point that the movie makes that, like, at the end when it's revealed, she's like, no, like, we have been doing our best as our alien race overseeing everything. It's the humans and their greed and their blah, blah, blah that keep fucking things up. This is like the third iteration. Remember when she talks about that?
Yes. Well, that's the most important part of the story to me.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's the one part where we actually don't know the truth in the context of the story. Mm-hmm. And that, because he disagrees, that's honest, like, he disagrees with her on that, like why she's actually here. And that clip that we'll get to that I sent you earlier, it's like that is the truth. That I think I do believe her, alien her, and what their actual motives were. He doesn't quite, though. He thinks that they're just there to kill them, not that she's there to save them, right?
Like, here, this is kind of jumping all over the place, but not really. But look at Bill Gates, for example. I think Bill Gates is a good guy. I think he has a good heart, and I think he is trying to do good. I think he is doing the very best he can to give away as much money as he can to as worthy of causes as possible. He created an insanely valuable technology, created a company that is worth created an entire, like, computer science and the computer industry wouldn't be a thing if it wasn't for the value that Bill Gates helped create, right? This guy is amazing. I'm just, yet everybody wants to jump in and blame him and he's the target of so many conspiracy theories and he must be evil because he's a billionaire and all this stuff. Anyway, it just made me think of that.
Okay.
Like, he's not evil. But people just assume because he's a billionaire and he's making a lot of philanthropic
You're
moves.
big on the side of the CEO in this movie. We get it.
Yeah.
You're big for the alien trying to fucking... No, but in the context of the story, it's such an important point in that, like, why are the aliens here? And it's and it's genuinely the main point of contention and disagreement between the two main characters.
Well, and I just want to say too, Bill Gates is an example of the previous generation of CEOs that before capitalism got infected with this toxic Wall Street virus. Gotcha. Like, he actually did create a lot of value. He didn't just come in and try and get their stock price to go up infinitely. Like he and Steve Jobs and
I'm going to. We're going to take one quick break. I want to make sure that I have memory in these things.
Oh, okay, cool.